the questions answer session, but that would be after some discussion. Then we will be opening the floor for question answer, and then again we'll continue with our discussions. Uh, Before I start my first question, there is a two line that I recollect of one of the शायरी is that चले थे साथ मंजिल को पाने के लिए, चले थे साथ मंजिल को पाने के लिए, मंजिल रह गई है पीछे, दौड़ रहे हैं एक दूसरे को हराने के लिए. That is the right now the case of latency. Most of the people who are trading in algos and HFT must be knowing what is latency. Latency is their god. So I would like to start with Gupta ji. Latency for which everybody was planning or fighting for to have a micro and picosecond more. What is the way out, and is this race non-ending, or is there some way to win this race?
Hello. Yeah, it is true. I agree with you. Latency has become a never-ending race. It will continue to be there until we come up with something different. See, if we continue to use the same algo, same arbitrage algos, cash future, all of us, the latency will always be an important game. Time has come for us to identify newer opportunities, intelligent algos, and win the race only with our intelligence.
That's completely right. Let us not fight based on who has the best computers and who has the best servers. Instead, I think as we can learn from the West and the more mature markets, the fight should be on who has the best strategy and who has the best ideas and who has the best research. If both parties or the entire market is fighting for one apple, everyone is going to get a very small piece of that apple. But if we decide to change our strategies and change our viewpoint, speed of execution and latency then is not important anymore, whereas quality of the strategy becomes more important.
Yeah, so there's actually, just to add, there's a case where you all might have heard, there's a company in the US called Spread Networks, which spent $300 million to build a line between Chicago and New Jersey to shave off 3 milliseconds. Okay, so the cost of technology, we have to be $300 million is what, into 60 rupees, you can do the math, like whatever it is. But effectively, the point is that the cost of doing that business was more than the benefit that can be got from the business. So we have to understand, are we doing technology for technology's sake, or are we doing that for business sake? I think that's primarily like my view.
Actually, one key point that we have to realize is that over a period of last 4-5 years, the quality of market has improved. The depths have increased in the sense that if we want to put in bigger orders, take bigger positions, it has become far easier. The second point is that the instruments that were not earlier liquid, so let's say 5 years back, stock options, stock futures, all of these were not liquid. But as a result of algorithmic trading and automated trading, they have basically caught on volumes, and as a result, markets have given investors a lot of options. And continuing in the same vein, what is happening is that unlike the West, Indian markets are highly democratic. So be it an institutional investor or be it a retail investor, they are basically treated by the exchanges and the regulators at the same level. And that is precisely where the Indian markets have a lot of, as in terms of Yuvraj's words, a lot of apples for us to have for ourselves.
Since you talked about Western countries, how much lacking are Indian automated trading right now compared to US or Europe? Where do we exactly stand? Are we lacking? Where we are lacking, and how much we are lacking?
Compared to the West, we are not lacking in any sense other than probably infrastructure. Infrastructure is bane of almost everything in India right now. But the thing is that other than probably in terms of infrastructure, almost every technology has caught up. So if you look at the servers or the communication technology. People can buy them off the shelf in the markets. So that is not a big deal. And in terms of the operating systems or say the software technology, it's almost the same as the West. So the key differentiator is mostly probably the infrastructure in that sense, in the communication networks.
One of the points where I think we are lacking is not in terms of our computers, not in terms of our infrastructure, but in terms of our knowledge and in terms of the way the Indian public, both retail and institutional, looks at algorithms. Currently, the perception of algorithms is so negative, and as we were discussing before this, any mistake or any flash trade or any fat finger in the market, the first idea we get is this must have been because of an algorithm. So it is not that we don't have the tools, but it is that we don't have the mindset yet to completely exploit the wonderful basket of opportunities that algos provide to us.
Yeah, like exactly what you were saying. So crashes or things happen even without algos. It's a very big misconception that algos cause crashes. Okay, so if markets, it's their nature to go up and down. Prices are not just meant to go up. That is not real. It's a nature of a market to go up and go down. It's normal, but blame it on the system is like the easy word. We can escape from it, and we say just blame it on the system. So that's completely true.
Yeah, so let me add that even with all of this, what our friends have said, I'm saying that we have already taken quite a bit of jump in the automated trading industry. If you look at the figures published by most of the exchanges, NSE, BSE, and MCX, I think we are about 30% of our volumes are being traded through algorithmic trading. Okay, so who's 4% on Polo? Okay. All right. So yeah, the latest figures, as you said, it is about 34 to 40%. So some people have already taken the initiatives, and this has happened possibly in last 5 years when the algorithmic trading was launched. So within 5 years, India has reached from 0 to say 40%. Okay, and US and Europe, they are I think about 75%. Right. So so I'm sure in India when there is a technology adoption, we could do it much better. It's as Yuvraj said that we have to have the mindset of adapting this technology. There should not be any fear that it's not for me. So we have to get into the disciplined way of trading. We have to acquire that it is for me. Anybody can acquire it. And yes, we will be there very soon. We will be competing with the developed countries.
Yeah, see the crash of any kind has, like there was a fat finger punching which caused a crash of market. And the first thing everybody was thinking was some algo has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong with the algo. And guys who were operating algos were on the toes on that day. They were most of the guys were there in office till late night, just looking whether their algos were okay. So one can understand that, see, basically any kind of crash is not good for that particular trader also, and the industry as well. What should be done so that the algo trader can precisely operate as it should operate, the execution, the compliance, and his strategy to the point. So what should be done in that respect?
I think you answered it in your question itself. There should be a change in the way our regulators regulate algos. Most of the regulations are done as a black box. पूरा जो system है, पूरा जो environment है, उसका आपको license मिलता है. What happens is there is a clear difference between strategy and execution platform. The testing should be done individually and specifically of both these things, because there are sometimes failures in terms of execution and there are sometimes failures in terms of your strategy. If your strategy has read the market wrong or if it shoots out a wrong order. Currently it is because most, as we said, 40% of our market volume is algorithmic. But I invite you to examine out of that 40% how much is retail. ये 40% में retail का कितना participation है? बहुत कम है. It is only institutional investors. So our regulators have become a little complacent because they know that it is the big money that is making these algorithms. But to prevent compliance failures, to prevent execution failures, and to prevent strategic failures, I think we need to examine the way we give licenses, and we need to examine modularly what can go wrong in an isolated situation and in an open market situation.
Actually, one thing that we have to realize is that ever since algorithmic trading was allowed in India, the gulf between institutional investor and the retail investor has increased, and that is because the regulations have not opened up for a retail trader. The regulators are yet to probably look at a retail trader as an interesting participant, as a participant who knows what exactly he is doing, what risks he is taking, and what kind of strategy he is running. So in terms of that, I am yet to see anything from the regulators on that part, but I am very hopeful for the future, because a lot of interesting opportunities for retail participants, especially in algorithmic trading, have opened up, especially in terms of platforms, especially in terms of products. And these products are coming from abroad, and they are also built inside India. And this is precisely what enthuses me about basically bringing in retail participation into algorithmic trading.
Yeah, certainly, as you see, slowly retails have started asking their brokers that we are algo ready, where do I do it? Do you have a platform? And that is putting a reverse pressure both on the broker side and on the regulator side. So regulators have taken some step to make it a little more easier, but yes, we are still far off than what it is required. The platforms what are used by the institutional traders or the brokers, they are different, and the platforms what are required to be used by the retail traders for algorithmic trading, they are going to be different. So they have to be regulated differently and monitored differently.
Yeah, if you actually see, so the retail trader now is going to be someone who is basically like an engineering grad with computer skills and understands some math, and he very well probably knows what he's doing. So the importance which regulators need to start giving is that retail is not like a category which is just does not know or something. It's not like that. The investor is very sophisticated now. You'll be surprised, a lot of investors know a lot about like futures, options, strategies, what we are doing, and they ask questions which you would have otherwise thought that this guy does not know finance, yeah, Greeks and all that, but that's not true. A lot of them are very, very aware. So at the algo trading is actually the platform to revolutionize themselves to achieve probably better returns or do it in a systematic way. So they should open it up in a proper manner. That is good for everyone generally and the industry.
Do you think right now regulators are overdoing their regulations?
One of the main reasons why we don't have the same kind of problems that they have in the West, the subprime mortgage crisis or bad financial products, is because our regulators are regulating our market. We are a very nascent market, and our markets don't have that much of depth. It is a discovery process for both them and us. They are doing their best, albeit in a misguided fashion, but I think a little bit of control by the regulators is required, especially with tools as powerful as algorithms. They are not moving fast enough, I accept. They are not focusing on making algorithmic trading more accessible, but they are focusing on managing risk and reducing the impact that it has on our market.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe, as the whole system is evolving, all of us are learning, and I think regulators are also learning how to deal with this situation, with this evolving phase. We used to have ring-based trading, and then from ring-based we came to the electronic trading. From the electronic trading we moved to the internet-based trading, IBT platforms. And now from IBT we are now moving into the automated trading platform. So this is the inception of the automated trading system in India. All of us are trying to learn how we adopt to the system, and I'm sure even regulators will have to take some more steps Because from the HFT side, they have already done many things, but from the individual retail side, active trader side, possibly a different mindset may have to be taken to promote this whole automated trading for that.
Actually, one very welcome step that has happened recently is that in the budget itself, they have notified that FMC, which was monitoring basically the commodities market, and SEBI, which is basically regulating the currency and equity markets and derivatives market, they are going to be merged. Now, as a result, what will happen is that there will be common compliance rules for various asset bases. So right now what is happening is people who are doing commodities, they have to have a different license from the ones who are doing equities. Now what will happen is if they come together, the hope is that it will become simplified, it will become simpler, and for the investor at large, it will be far more friendly in terms of managing his funds, managing his positions and all. So once it becomes more centralized, I think that there is going to be far better regulation that we can expect, because SEBI in certain terms has been quite forward, and FMC on those terms has lagged in terms of perception, because commodities have not reached out to retail participants as of now. In terms of, if you look at commodities participation, retail participation, it is far lesser than what equities have been able to. And commodities are a very important asset class. So once these regulators they come together, I think we will see a far better approach, far better approach towards investors, be it institutional or be it retail. So I have great hopes from that.
Just to inform your point further, I was in conversation with the managing director of NCDX, and he was telling me, okay, right now on a ton of agro products, we are not even trading an entire ton. Whereas in the foreign markets, they are, per ton of agricultural products, they are trading 10 tons. So that is the kind of depth, liquidity and volumes that we can generate by introducing algorithmic platforms.
Yeah, just the main thing, like what the regulators don't probably want is denial of service to others. So which actually means that if a HFT trader, for example, puts as many orders which can deny service to others, that is what the regulators don't want, and which is probably system abuse. So that is something which they don't want, which is good. That much regulation is needed, and only that much regulation is needed. So as long as service is available to everyone, let there be less of regulation.
Before I move to the next question, I would like to just ask among the audience, how many of the audience are retail investors? Can you just raise your hand? Okay, so that is quite a lot of audience who are from retail who won't